Welcome to the Parallel Legacies podcast, where I'm just one of four dudes, man, and I got three of my best friends with me. So I got Doc Brown.
Hey.
I got Mitch.
What's going on?
I got S. Dot.
What's going on?
So fellas, man, it's been a little while, man, since we had a chance to do this, but I think I got a killer topic for today. I want to talk about marriage, dating, and relationships from the perspective of, is it worth men even being in a marriage or having a serious relationship? Just based on on what we see in the current landscape today. So that's kind of where I want to go with it, fellas. I'm gonna shut up because I got a very strong opinion on this. I'm gonna let y'all riff for a little bit and let's get it. Come on, fellas, let's go.
First off, you ain't gonna come out there with an introduction like that and not start it off. You first.
Well, fine, that's fine. I'll go first. In my opinion, I don't think that it's advantageous for a man who has established himself to be in a marriage with the current marketplace, right? I am married and I've been with my wife for 23 years, but if I was single right now, ain't no way. Because the way that it looks because, you know, for our whole lives, women have always been hypergamous, meaning that they're going to try to get the best deal for what they got, right? But now it's so extreme that you go out and get married, and the last time I looked at the statistics, it says that 80% of marriages are ending in divorce. And out of those 80%, 50% of marriages are ended in divorce. And out of those 50%, it's 80% of women who are initiating the divorces, right? So if I got a 50-50 chance of getting divorced and losing half of my assets, why would I want to get married in this current landscape? Like, I can be with somebody and put something aside for them, you know, because she been down, I want to take care of her. If something happened to me, I could put something aside for her. But the way the judicial system is set up, if we get divorced, we lose, period. So what would be the purpose? If I got a 50-50 chance of getting divorced, why would I get married?
Oh man.
Well, I guess some of that goes back to what is the institution of marriage for.
Right.
I mean, if you love somebody, quote unquote, I mean, and you want to be with them for the rest of your life, that's kind of why you get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throwing out the rest of the, I get totally where you're going. But if you throw all the rest of that out and you just say, hey, I'm getting married because I love her and I want to spend the rest of my life with her, I guess that's the fairy tale stuff.
Man.
You know, I can see the reason for getting married.
Right.
But when you start looking at your assets or what you potentially could lose, if your marriage does not work, which to me, if you're getting married, those things should not be what you're thinking about. Like, if I don't make it, although that's the reality side of it. So,
I mean, Doc, when you look at the reality of what's going on, like I look at the Kanye and Kim situation, right? Regardless of how you feel, regardless of how anybody feels about them being married and Kanye being with Kim Kardashian, you know, that's each person's own opinion. But he married her, right? With her background, whatever. He married her, and they're both super millionaires. And this dude paying like $2 million a year in child support for what? Like, what are those kids really going without? What do those kids not have? Because I thought the purpose of child support was to make sure that the kid, that the child is taken care of financially. But they both super millionaires. So again, look.
So I mean, ain't that a new topic?
No, it's not a new topic. I mean, it kind of goes, it goes with it, because look. It's hard. So if say look at Jeff Bezos, right? The founder of Amazon, right? You know, if he stepped out of his marriage or whatever the case may be, I got it 110%, right? but she got the bag on the way out, didn't she? Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm a super billionaire like that, I can still take care of you without getting the government involved. That's kind of how I feel about it with looking at the current dating marketplace right now.
Yeah, I understand where you're going, but if we're talking, is it worth getting married? I mean, you know what you are when you go into that marriage, right?
Absolutely.
So,
and then here's another problem. Here's another problem with it. A lot of these judges are throwing out prenuptial agreements. So now you like, yo, I'm gonna get this prenup and I'm gonna take care of myself just in case things don't go right. And then you go, and then things happen in the relationship, right? So now you're going to stand before the judge, and the judge was like, yeah, you got this prenup, but it was signed under duress. So guess what? Your prenup is now null and void. So now she has access to all of your assets. Now, what I will say is that if it's two people and y'all done built that together, she absolutely deserves half of whatever you done came up with if y'all built it together. But if I'm already $350 million in, and you come in and say, yo, I'm gonna add 25,000. So now we got 350 million and 25,000. And now you get half. How is that fair? And then the crazy part is Eddie was talking about this with Johnny Carson 30 years ago in Delirious. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. If anything, it's worse now than it was then.
How so?
Because the thing is, the reason why it's worse now is, and I will say, men play a huge fault in this, right? We play a huge fault. It's kind of we done dug our grave, because in early days, men would leave with all their money and leave their wives with nothing. So the court system had to find a way to take care of these women, but it's not the same like that anymore. A lot of times these women are making their own money. They got their own income coming in on their own without us. So now you're saying she got her $100,000 a year, I got my $100,000 a year, but we had kids. So now I got to pay $25,000 a year to take care of a kid. But what child that I love and care for are not gonna benefit from me still making $100,000 a year and a mother making $100,000 a year? What child is that going to happen? And then a lot of times the women don't qualify for alimony in those situations. However, I'm still the one that's got to pay to get out in the vast majority of cases. Now, I'm not saying that if you help me build it, you absolutely deserve half of whatever I got. But if I didn't already came with it, you come with what you came with. But then the thing is in most cases, we as men, we still have that desire to take care of that woman who we may have decided to divorce, right? Or she may have decided to divorce us. We still, on some level, have a desire to want to take care of her. So we ain't just gonna kick her out with nothing. But once you get the government involved and you get them courts and everybody involved, bro, you can forget it, because they finna come hit your pockets hard. And if you thought you got that hidden account, they gonna find that one too and hit you over the head some more because you tried to hide the account with the money in it.
I'm a little. I don't even really know how to inject myself into this conversation. I mean, yes, you're absolutely correct, man. That it seems like, dating, marriage, I mean, whatever is more transactional,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's what's at the forefront of it, right? Because we see all the examples of when it goes wrong,
right?
And I will give you respect on the stats. Yes. Especially in the Black community, man, women are the ones that are, submitting for divorce in most cases.
Right.
But I don't know, man, how we got so far. I mean, like, yo, you threw a lot of information out there, like.
Well, Mitch
really
started
quick.
it,
and then we ended up, you know, what I'm saying with half, and then throwing out prenuptials and everything.
Right.
But I think the bigger problem, man, is that people have forgotten the sanctity or what marriage is there for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just, the whole fairy tale stuff. Hey, I love you, you love me, whatever. We get together, we start a family, whatever else. I think it's the resiliency piece, right? I mean, there's this thing that we all said, right? At some point, I'm saying, that two of y'all are currently married. There's two of us that are divorced, so we were married. So we understand it's for better or for worse. And I think that is the problem in today's society, man, that everyone forgets about the worst part, right? Where's the resiliency in trying to maintain that unity that you came together before God and said that you were there to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Is it more advantageous? You may be losing materialistic things or monetary things, you know what I'm saying, in the foreground, but what does that actually say that your union was built on?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'll leave that one out. That's my question mark, man, to throw back out to y'all, man. I'm trying to like gauge it back in, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, is it advantageous? Who knows?
So what I will say is that we all know that in most cases, and it's ingrained in us that women are hypergamous, right? So if you go way back into the caveman days, a woman would choose her man based on what he can provide, right? He can get out there and bust a woolly mammoth in the head and bring plenty of food to be able to take care of the babies and take care of her, and then she'll cut it up and they all eat and they all good to go, right? So throughout the years and generations, the hypergamy never left, right? Because a person wants the absolute best they can get for who they are and what they have, right? So if it's an extremely beautiful woman, she ain't gonna be dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray down the street. You know what I mean? She gonna level up. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I understand that. I get that 100%. But I think a lot of the problem is that in this hypergamy, when in my opinion, just my conjecture, that when a woman gets with somebody, she was like, well, I probably could have did better and got with another dude. And now I've made a commitment to you, and now you bouncing because you think you can do better than me. And 9 times out of 10, if you could have did better, you would have got better. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
It sounds, I mean, okay, so
come on, man, don't let me stump y'all, man. Come on, man, let's go.
We never talk in absolutes, and I feel like we're halfway at an absolute. But I think this is so situational. This is like a situational thing because some people aren't going to believe in that way. Like,
right.
Because, me being a divorced person, I did become very selective as the people that I dealt with, the women that I dealt with. I don't always you got to have something going for yourself. I'm not just going to, pick any woman.
Right.
So I definitely get what you're saying as far as, trying to date at least, on your level. The marriage part, very, very, very subjective to me. Because it just depends on, even what Sharod's talking about. Oh no, man, you got to have an alert symbol. I just agreed with him. What the? But the process of being married still, it doesn't mean as much these days,
right,
as it once did, and I think that right there is probably the key to all of this, is that because marriage doesn't mean as much, you may not get this. You don't hear people say something like what you just said. 23 years, man. Kudos to you, bro. That's a long time.
It's been rough. I will tell you that, but I appreciate that. But
I'm not trying to get you in trouble, E.
I mean, you know me and her real open about our relationship, and we talk real about it. It's been rough. You know what I mean? We've had our good times, we've had our bad times, but again, if something happened, God forbid, if something happened and I'm entering back into the dating marketplace now, bruh, I'm gonna be single because I'm gonna call you out for a second, Doc, because you are, in my opinion, you are the prototype of what a lot of women are saying that they want. A man that makes significant amount of money. I ain't gonna put your money business out in the street, but a man that makes a significant amount of money, that's over 6 feet tall and can provide. You are the prototype, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times a chick can get with you and then be like, well, I got him, I think I can do better. If you could have done better, you would have did better. So, you know what I mean? And I feel like I think that a lot of what we're dealing with in the dating marketplace is hypergamy, right? Because if you look at just national statistics, right? So I want to say like the average height of a man in the United States is like 5'9", and the median income is like $33,000, $35,000 a year, something like that, right? So the four of us are well beyond the average, right? You get a lot of people out here, and I don't want to keep pointing the finger at women, but you get a lot of women out here that's average and don't want average. Okay, if you could get above average, I'm sure that you would have gotten it. But a person to look at me and be like, oh well, I can do better than him. Okay, well, go ahead. We'll see how that works out for you. And that's a lot of the way I feel about it. And then another part that we always forget, and this is not a shot at women with children, because my mother was a single mother as well when she met my father, but the times have changed. When we walk into a relationship with a woman, we know beyond the shadow of a doubt that if we get serious, I am going to be financially responsible for not only her, but her child with someone else, right? It's generally not like that the other way around. When a woman comes in with a man with kids and he's got custody of the kids, he's already taking care of the kids. He don't care what she does with the kids other than being a mother to his children, right? But we bear the burden of financial responsibility when we're walking into these relationships and situations, right? So if you've already given your womb to somebody, in most cases, dudes aren't gonna want to deal with that. If somebody believes that I'm an 8, right? Let's just say, I don't think I'm an 8, but if somebody believes that I'm an 8, right, and there are 3, 9 times out of 10, she's not even going to be on my radar. And that's not me being cocky or none of that. It's just that I can demand better for the things that for the accomplishments that I've made. And that's what I'm saying about it. Mitch, what you got, man? Because you look like you chomping at the bit. Homie, what you got?
Man, listen, I don't, hearing you guys talk, I thought that I was going to have more to say about this topic, but you guys are right, but I do believe that in today's society, marriages they're business deals. Mm-hmm. They're not authentic relationships, right? They're not something that's authentic because, and I'll say this, man, you don't know who you're going to fall in love with. Right. You can't predict that. Like you can't say, man, I'm never going to fall. I'm an 8 and I'm never going to fall in love with a 3. You don't know that. Like you don't know that to be true. I mean, just because she's not meeting the standard of an 8, she may have the greatest personality in the world. She may be the nicest person in the world or whatever. And you don't know what's going to happen. So I wouldn't put an absolute on the fact that I'll never date a 3 or whatever. Listen, for me, being married, my situation is different. It was authentic love from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that said, oh man, I'm this and she's that. But I believe that, and I agree with Sharod, I believe that a marriage is something that has to be built upon, right? If I'm making $200,000, a year or whatever, and let's say she's not making anything, but we come together in a union, I think it's kind of my responsibility to help build her up so we can become a team, right? And I think she should be doing the same thing. Now, if she decides, you know what, $200,000 ain't enough for me, man. I need 300,000, 400,000. She want to leave. That's on her, bro. I mean, that's a call that she has to make. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think today's society, if you look at it from that aspect of it, it's just business, man. It's nothing authentic about it. And that's why marriages, when you brought up your stats in the beginning, that's why they don't work, because there's no love involved. It's about what can I get from this person at the time, right?
Yeah, but
I'm going to marry this guy. I'm going to marry this guy because of what he has, not because of what, I don't really love him. You know what I mean? He can provide for me, and that's all I want. So yeah, I'm going to marry him, for that reason. There's women out here now that, I've heard people talk. I've seen this one lady on social media that said, I won't even date a guy if he doesn't make $100,000 a year. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, man, because she's coming to a business deal. She's not, in it for the real reason behind it, the real reason behind love and marriage and stuff like that. Because does it really exist? Yeah, love happens all the time. People fall in love every day. But when you're coming into a relationship knowing that you only want one thing, and that's a come up, it ain't gonna never work, because you're gonna be looking for the next best thing. It's never gonna work out.
Can I throw a wrench in the cog real quick, right? Because we keep talking about, we've heard it, like 3, saying whatever the rating of oneself, right?
Right. And
I believe, us as men, it's real easy for us to rate ourselves. I mean, the most that we can do, man, is get haircuts, man. Maybe, go to the gym, man, get our pectoral muscles, popping or whatever, to try to attract, right? What it is that we feel that we want, right? On the female side of it, where I'm going with this point is, are they really 3s? It's kind of hard to judge this, right? That 1 through 10, right? Because you just don't know what it is that you're getting, or if you're just dealing with the physical aspect, right? That initial physical attraction. I mean, when a woman wants to attract, when a woman wants to absolutely stun, I mean, man, you got makeup, you got hair, you got lips, you got eyelashes now, man, you got body parts, everything about them that can be altered in order to make the man that they're seeking to attract be attracted to them. You get what I'm saying? It's one of those, like, man, it's like, if I'm making this and I think a comment was made by you, Mitch, if I'm if I'm an NBA player and I'm messing with this 3 right here, that 3 look like a 10 half the damn time, saying? Until you wake up the next morning and you're like, ugh, like, whoa, go put the rest of your body on your face and all that, and then come back out, to meet the world. I just, and then trying to use that as a segue into a little bit of what was said on the flip side of it. If they're coming into it, right, and a woman can actually get out there and say that I won't even talk to somebody unless they make X amount of money, yes, it is absolutely a business deal that they're trying to enter into. But how is that a topic of discussion when you're just getting to meet somebody, or you're just getting to know somebody? I mean, like, I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me. I mean, that's at the forefront. I ain't never sat down, across from a woman and been asked, well, how much do you make a year? I mean, right there, that's like the biggest red flag in the world, man. That you absolutely know this is, regardless of how good she looks. I'm sorry, I ain't got nothing else to deal with you.
Because your interview's already been done already. And what I mean by that is, she already knows a lot of things already about you. She knows what kind of car you drive. She's already looked at what kind of clothes you wear. So she can almost gauge that, what type of money you make. Like, that's why a lot of, what I'm saying? Like, a lot of women won't even date a guy that's driving, you know what I mean? I don't know, give me a car like a Kia or something like that. They won't even date him because, nope, that's not my type. He's not in a Mercedes, or he's not doing this. So I'm not even going to waste my time with him because he's not in my realm of where I want him to be. Your pre-interview is already done. So you don't have to sit across from him and ask how much you make. She's already guessing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you take her back to your house, you know what I mean? And you live in Section 8, she'd be like, man, that Mercedes was a rental. This dude's a fraud. She ain't going to call you no more. You know what I mean? So those questions don't have to be asked. You know what I mean?
And then,
especially if a woman's looking for that business deal.
Yeah, and then the vast majority of women will judge what they think you make based on the first date. Because there's a spot out here, Steak 44. It's it's probably about $100 a plate. You know what I mean? And it's but if you're not taking them to Steak 44, if you want to just go to get some coffee, or something like that, Ruby they're like, Tuesday. yeah. You talking Ruby Tuesday, or you talking Chili's or something like that? They can be like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean,
check this out. I'm gonna say this, and I'll never say any names, but I'm gonna say I was getting my hair cut, and there was a lady barber that was in there, and she said that she went out on a date with this guy, and they went to a pretty nice restaurant or whatever. And when they were getting ready to leave, he was looking for his wallet. Like, oh man, I can't find my wallet. You know what I mean? I can't find my wallet. And the dude said this. He said, hey, listen, I genuinely forgot my wallet. Could you pay? And as soon as we get in the car, I'm going to cash app you back. Sounds fair, right?
It sounds fair, but what was her reaction?
No. Her reaction was, I'm going to the bathroom. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'll be back.
And bounce.
She went to the car and bounced. And it's like, I never call him again. Why? Oh, because he was broke. He couldn't pay for the meal. That was her reaction. You know what I mean? So It's kind of one of those things where I understand, but if you're looking for a genuine relationship, would you not have figured out what was next, or if he was telling the truth?
You would think so if somebody's looking for a genuine relationship, man. But I again, man, I feel like
you know what she called him? Broke, clown, corn, stuff like that.
And that dude could have been a millionaire and just legit forgot his wallet.
But you didn't even get to do the chance because you were trying to enter into something that you thought was a come up. In reality, you probably did it on purpose to see what type of woman you really are.
I mean, that's what it sounded like right there, man. That sounded like an OG, you know what I'm saying, kind of test right there, just to see, oh, no, I got it. And let's see if she going to reach in her purse just to see, just to test the waters, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's
okay, so I guess like where I'm lost is the financial aspect of this. Is that the only thing that makes these marriages not work? Like, are there other factors that would lead down these roads other than finances and things like that?
Absolutely.
I think that there are. I absolutely think that there are, because even with the statistics that I provided, but if you look at how lopsided it is, so let's just say, right, we've established that 50% of marriages end in divorce, and out of those 50%, 80% of those marriages are initiated by the women. So let's take half of that, and we know that may be unrealistic, but let's take half of that for the extreme reasons. SA, because YouTube's real sensitive, but SA, and then physical abuse, stuff like that. So that's 40% of women who are now leaving for those extreme circumstances. That still leaves a clear disparity between 40% of women who irreconcilable differences versus 20% of men across the gamut. So now if I take half of the women that left for those extreme women, and then for those extreme situations, and then do the same thing on the men's side, now we're looking at about 10% of men who are leaving for irreconcilable differences. Like, for me, we can't ignore the financial aspect of a marriage, because we all know from our training in the military, we all know that's one of the key things that causes relationships to fail: financial hardship. So we can't ignore the financial ramifications behind a marriage. But in my opinion, a lot of us as men, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna make somebody really, really mad, and they're gonna be like, he don't know what the hell he's talking about, but that's fine. in my opinion, I think that when a man loves a woman is the purest form of love outside of when a mother loves her child. But if we're talking just men and women, I think that men love in the aspect of like of that Disney fairy tale where, oh man, I'm gonna be with her forever. You know, I'm trying to go out and do everything I can to make this successful. That's what I believe in my heart based on the statistics that's out there. Like I think that men have the most pure form of love outside of a mother loving her child. And that's how I feel about it. So we can't ignore the financial aspect of it because finances is real. It's real, and I'm not even mad that women want to get the best of what they can for what they got, because I want to get the best I can for what I got. You know what I mean? So if I'm out here making $150,000, $200,000 a year, I'm on somebody that looks the role. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad about it, but the thing is that I think that when men have standards to what they want in these relationships, we are constantly beat over the head about, oh, well, you shouldn't want that. You should want this. You shouldn't want that. You should want this. But when a woman pipes up and say, yo, he got to be over 6 feet tall, making $100,000 a year, and he got to have a 10-inch Johnson, and he got to blow my back out and all this other stuff, nobody bats an eye. But when we put some standards on what we want for what we bring to the table, it's always a problem. And then I wanted to touch on something Sharod said. I think that when it comes to attracting a woman, we got to have 2 out of 3. Right. And this is just my theory. This is just my conjecture, but we got to have 2 out of 3. Right. So we either got to be attractive and be paid. And then the bedroom can be so-so, or we gotta, it's 3 categories. You gotta, how you look, what you do in the bedroom, how much you make. You got to have 2 out of 3. If you ain't got 2 out of 3, then you just it just ain't gonna be good for you. That's just kind of my conjecture on it.
Yeah, but don't men have a standard as well?
Absolutely.
Like, don't we, like, I mean, I don't know what those 3 things are for me, but there are going to be things that we look for in a woman as well.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, I would not fault them for wanting, something in particular,
right?
That they are looking for, whatever that is. Hopefully, it's not. If it is founded on financials and things like that, then it's not going to be a real relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't care how much money you make, man, you always a paycheck short of being homeless.
Say that all the time, man. I say it all the time. You're fired away from being homeless, so you don't really know what the outcome is going to be anyway. That's why I say, man, a lot of these things are for women of that type that we're talking, because all women aren't like that.
Agreed.
For the women of that type, it's a contractual obligation. It's a come up for them because that's what they want. You know what I mean? They want for somebody to be able to provide them what they need. And those needs may be a little extreme. They may want, the best of everything. So they go out and look for these guys that, making all of this money or whatever, So I don't know, man. This for a man in general, it's tough, and I would say it's tough because as a man, you're kind of expected to be the one that's responsible for the household, right? Like it's kind of given. And women like, to have, their house taken care of. They like to have nice things and stuff like that. So when you say that everybody's looking for those 3 things, 3 things could be different. You know what I mean? Like you may say, oh, he has to be financial. He has to be over this, this, 6 feet tall or whatever. But, a woman may say, I'm just looking for, someone that's going to be a true father to my child. That may be her number one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we can't really say that these are givens. Every woman is. I mean, women are just. And I'm gonna say this: I don't fault a woman for wanting to come up.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
I don't fault a woman to be like, look, I ain't selling for a dude that's just going to give me what I already have. Of course, I'm going to look for somebody, that's going to help me better myself. But I will say this. If you find that man that you're looking for, that's making everything that you're saying that you need in life, and you enter into this marriage or relationship with him, then you need to be trying to do something to make that partnership work. A marriage and a relationship is a partnership, right?
Right.
So don't sit back and be like, oh, look at all the things that he's providing for me. Help this man out. Help him, you know what I'm saying, bring that relationship to where you want it to go. I saw a post on Facebook the other day. The question was posed: if your man makes $200,000 a year, I don't know what the exact amount was. I'm just going to paraphrase. A man makes $200,000 a year and you make $80,000 a year. Is that man still responsible for paying all the bills in the house, including the rent? I would say 80% of the women in that comment say yes. The man is responsible for paying the rent and every bill in the house because he makes more. Is that really the way it's supposed to work? My answer is no, because you're in a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you can do to help him succeed, you should be able to do that. And I feel like this: if you're not doing that, then you're wanting the relationship to fail.
So what I will say to that is I'm gonna come at that from two different points, right? The first point is me as a man, that if I'm making $200,000 a year, we doing all right? So I could care less what she brings into the household at that point, right? But what I will say is that my expectations on that type of situation is I need you to do what I'm not able to do. You know what I mean? I don't want both of us to be pulling up to the house, both making $150,000 a year, and we looking at each other like, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, you tired? Yeah, I'm tired. You know what I mean? Because I want somebody that can do what I can't do, right? So if I'm out, because a dude making that type of money, he work. You know what I mean? He work. He going to get it. You know what I mean? So that means extended hours. That means all of that. So when I come to the house, you know what I mean? I want to be able to lay up in my wife's lap and be like, babe, man, it was a rough day, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? I don't care what she's bringing into the household. As long as you're taking care of the other things that I need you to take care of, that's good, right? The second way that I kind of want to speak on it is that, in my opinion, is just my conjecture, that men are mostly still traditional men. We still want to take care of our house. We want to take care of our wife. We want to take care of our children. If she want to go to Tahiti, we want to be able to provide that for her. So us being traditional men are now faced with a situation where we're not getting traditional women. And that's a lot of, I think that what we're dealing with is they changed the game, and they changed how we playing the game. Like, we playing Nintendo and they playing PS5. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be a disparity, because I'm looking at my block character like, what's going on with when you playing Grand Theft Auto and I'm playing Super Mario Brothers. You know what I mean?
I feel what you're saying.
I definitely agree with that, right? And that's, I kind of wanted to jump in there. I was like, okay, yeah. So we have a very antiquated way of viewing a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, right. Yep. You know what I mean? I'm going to take care of the bills. I'm going to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is that we were bred to do. But also with that, right? You know, looking at, two checks is better than one. Like, absolutely. We get like, if we're sharing the load, we can save a little bit more. We can save for that rainy day. We can save for the Tahiti trip. But if you are wanting to be treated right, and I'm talking in generalities, right? I'm talking about the modern woman who wants to be viewed as an equal and be taken care of, even though they are making their own sizable incomes and not wanting to contribute because of an antiquated way of looking at how a relationship with a household is supposed to be ran. That right there is a cause for irreconcilable differences. Absolutely. You are not playing on a team. You're not a team player.
You're not a part of this partnership. You're working as an individual, and you're putting all the burden on the man.
It's like it's one of those things, man, where is it a rarity? We talked a little bit before you hit the record button, man, that yes, you have the minority that is speaking the loudest for the majority. You know what I'm saying? And we see it. I mean, it's in our face. It's on every TikTok, every reel, every platform that's talking about women that believe that men should be doing all of this stuff. Your money is their money, and their money is their money. You know what I'm saying? Type situation. I know we keep going back into finances, but it's like, again, right? I gotta ask the $1 million question. What do you bring to the relationship? If we have a role to provide, to protect, and do all this manly stuff, man, got to take out the trash and all this, what are you bringing to the relationship? Like, what is your X factor? What is making you stand out?
So
please, answer that.
So I kind of want to touch on that a little bit too. And I'm going to bring up a person that we all know that Doc didn't really care for too much. But the thing is as Doc mentioned, two incomes is better than one, right? But the thing is, Kevin Samuels talked to women, gosh, for a couple years before his untimely demise. And the vast majority of women basically was like, yo, when I have a baby, I don't want to necessarily have to run right back to work. I want to be able to spend time with my child and initiate the child rearing and all of that, which is absolutely fine. But the thing is that if it's going to be my responsibility to maintain our household, why not let it be my responsibility, period, right? And then, a lot of women hate the what do you bring to the table comment, because it comes across as disingenuous, and it comes across from women that I've heard it from. It comes across as disingenuous, and it comes across as I gotta prove myself to you. But on the flip side of on the flip side of the same conversation, women are expecting us to walk into a relationship, and when we have the conversation, the what are we conversation, women are expecting us to walk in that relationship as a husband already. Let's call it what it is. They're expecting us to walk in and to protect, profess, and provide from once we establish a relationship from day one. So yes, in a sense, yes, you do have to prove yourself to me. Because every day that I walk out this house, I'm proving myself to you that I'm the man that you want me to be. So, it just, I hate feeling like I'm doing the finger pointing where you did this and you did that, but it's kind of the truth, in my opinion, and the reality of the dating marketplace as well as marriage is the truth.
I hear you, man. I think Doc want to say something, but I'm going to say I wish that I can speak on a perspective of. I don't say I wish. I take that word back because I'm probably getting in trouble by saying that. I want to say that I can't really speak on a perspective of dating. I can only speak on what I know in my relationship, right? And you're right. By saying, hey, what do you bring to the table? I don't really know if that's a genuine question to ask somebody. What do you bring to the table? Because it can be a multitude of things, right? Because when you first entered into a relationship with this person, she brought something to the table that you actually liked before, right? And that's why you're in a relationship with her now. So to me, it's kind of one of those things that's a given. I would just keep saying this part of it, man. And I think that we've kind of went around a lot about the whole situation. I just believe there's just two types of people out there. There's people that enter marriage because of the sanctity of marriage and because they really genuinely want to be in love. And there's people out there that enter into marriage and relationships because they want to have a business deal. And I think, we kind of hit it already, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
But the thing is, Mitch, and the truth of the matter is it wasn't until, God, my memory escapes me on this, but I want to say it wasn't until slavery where there was a church aspect when it came to marriage, because there were black slaves trying to marry white women, and they wanted to cut all that out. So then you have to get a marriage license, being married in front of a judge. But if you go way back in the day, right, when they first started saying, hey, one man, one woman, it was mostly because the kings and the people with all the money, they was snatching up all the women, which in turn left the men to leave the town. So in order to maintain the men in a town and keep a town running, it was like, yo, one man, one woman, this is how you get married, yada yada yada, right? And then on the higher end of that, it really was a business transaction. Yo, this family is powerful, this family is powerful, we want to put our power together. You know what I mean? So on some level, it is a business transaction. So for me personally, it irritates me when people continue to include the church aspect of marriage, right? Because we understand it's a man and woman before God. We get it. I get it. But my caveat to that is always, it's the strength of the relationship that matters, not the marriage, right? So even hold on, Esther, let me finish, and I'm gonna shut up. Let me finish, and I'm gonna shut up. But even in the quote unquote business transaction of it, I don't have a problem with that either, as long as both parties know what it is. That's not what you got, homie.
But then you can't get mad if she decides to leave and go somewhere else because the business transaction ain't working out.
I'm not getting mad at that either.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying you can't be like, oh man, you're out of here because you found another dude that make more money than me. You know what I mean? Like,
but it is. That's why I was just gonna say, man, it's not the strength of it, it's the resiliency of it. It has nothing to do with the same thing.
It's not.
No. Strength and resiliency are two different things, man.
I just wanted to disagree with you. That's all.
Because I'm like this, man. Like, we started off, man. For better or for worse, man. The ones that last are the ones that can get through the full worst.
Right.
It just seems like, the for better better be 90% of the time, else, that for worse part, I'm out. I'm looking for the back door. You know what I'm saying? And then, to clarify, what it is that you bring to the table, y'all just solidified my point. We are expected to do. So what do we bring to the table is already at the forefront. Mm-hmm. What are you bringing to the table to make this union better? That has to be at the forefront as well. If it's a union.
Yeah.
Now, Doc, please, no one else say anything else until Doc get his point out.
I don't even like what he gonna say. So go ahead. I'm just
I actually was enjoying what y'all were saying, man. I actually don't have a further difference of opinion than what you guys are talking about. I just don't. I guess you call me the hopeless romantic, because I feel like things should be much, much, much further than the financial aspect. Like, that part stuck to me when we started talking about the finance part, because I feel like, in relationships, there's other things that occur prior to even getting to that financial part. And
genuine relationships, I think.
Right, yeah.
There's a difference, and that's what I was talking about before. Like, if it's not genuine, I mean, you're going to find that out anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. You'll find that out before you get to a marriage stage. So when you get to that marriage stage, unless that person is a con artist, and that's what they they want to make you believe that is something beyond that, then yeah, I guess you won't know until she walking out the door with bags and your money. But,
right.
but in the sense of the whole marriage thing, at least for me, when I think about it, I think about the romantic side of it, and wanting to actually have a relationship versus not. I got this, that, and when she comes in, she better be able to do X, Y, Z for me, or
it ain't gonna work.
She ain't gonna make it. Yeah.
But that's what I said before. Like you can't help that. Like you can't help who you fall in love with, right? Like it's kind of one of those things you just can't help it. And I see where you're going, man. And I kind of, I like what you're saying because, I mean, I think you can kind of see what side of the coin that your relationship is going to go before you even enter a marriage, right? You can already tell if the love is genuine or if she's there for, underlying causes. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of understand that. So I think, when that happens, and we talked about, Eric was talking about, the stats of a marriage. When she walks out because she, said that you're not doing this, I kind of think that men kind of already know. It's kind of one of those things that they knew was going to happen anyway, because they already knew what she came into it for in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where it shouldn't even be a surprise or expected. It's kind of like, all right, I kind of knew, you was a gold digger when I met you, so see you. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things where, but I'm just calling it is what it is. But
But Doc, listening to you speak about, how you feel about love and marriage is part of the reason why I believe that men love from the most purest places, period. Because a lot of times we have that want and need and desire to, take care of our families and be head over heels in love with our wives. And, I also believe that when a divorce does happen, or if it does happen, that we take it harder than they do, because they didn't already made it up in their mind a year ago that they were done, and we still fighting a good fight, because for so long we've been taught what happy wife, happy life. So we still trying to figure out a way to make her happy, right?
Right.
But the thing is I ran across this quote years and years ago that basically the gist of it was, she make her booty bigger, she make her boobs bigger, and change what God did for her. So what chance do you think you have to make her happy? You know what I mean? but man, I think we didn't wreck this one, boy. And I know I'm gonna have some heat coming for me, but it's okay. We can talk about it. What you guys think, fellas?
You got to understand that we're coming from a man's perspective. I'm pretty sure that a lot of women they're not going to agree with what we're talking about, and that's okay. Everybody has a difference of opinions, but I feel like this was a great conversation to have. You know what I mean? Because there's probably a lot of men out there right now trying to decide, like, dang, bro, I'm dating this girl, but is she for real? Mm-hmm. So you probably have to go rethink a lot of things, and men, you have to protect yourself just like women do.
Yeah,
this is a great conversation, man.
For sure. So S. Dot, what you got, man? Final thoughts.
Again, man, this is great, man. To get back to it, man, just have genuine conversation. You know what I'm saying, about a real topic. You know what I'm saying, from both sides of the aisle, man. To the currently married side, viewpoint, and the divorce, viewpoint of what it is, but. Yeah, man, this one was hard though. You know what I'm saying? Just right. Trying to really, really figure out. It's not even how to verbalize what you're trying to say, but try to really hit home, man. Like the point, like, okay, what makes this, a relationship, and what's going to make it last, right? What's going to give y'all that resiliency, man, to get to 23 years, you know what I'm saying? And on Mitch's side,
was it 28, Mitch?
Yeah.
You know it. We in there, bro.
Man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 28 years, you know what I'm saying? Which is a beautiful thing, man. But yeah, that's what I got, man. And I can't wait to keep doing this, man.
For sure. Mitch, you got anything else you wanna add some more season to it?
No, man, I think we got this thing, man. And I hope at the end of the day, when my wife look at this, bro, she don't be looking upside my head because I said something stupid. but I think we did pretty good, man. It was all right.
Doc, you want what's your final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm with everybody else as far as the perspective. Look, man, this is a male perspective. We're looking at it from our eyes. Definitely, man, I'm always in for the ladies. Please comment. post,
Right.
do whatever you can to, hey, if we need to be set straight, set us straight. Let us know what's up. I definitely, of course, enjoyed the conversation. But I do think this is something we probably could take on several other levels. So
yeah, for sure.
Hey, y'all keep us going.
So as for me, I think I did most of the talk of this show. So
I think you had made something up about the slaves, man. I was about to look that up because I didn't know if it was true.
Real talk. Look it up. If I'm not mistaken, real talk. Look it up. But I think that, I mean, we could talk about this all day from various different perspectives. But at the end of the day, what should be important, in my opinion, is no longer important. What should be important is two people figuring it out, building together to have something special together. And in my opinion, it's not like that anymore. But in many ways, men are still traditional men, but they aren't receiving the traditional women that they're seeking. And that kind of leads into like the passport bro movement, but I won't go there tonight because we didn't already pounded this one over the head. But we got to talk about the passport movement one day soon, fellas. So S. How can the people get a hold of you, fam?
And simple, man. Sharod.lane across all platforms.
S. Lane on all platforms. All right, Mitch. How can the people get a hold of you, brother?
And man, Instagram is probably the best way, man. I'm at Special Agent P.
Special Agent P on Instagram. There go Doc shaking his head again. You know what? I ain't gonna ask you, Doc. So to get a hold of Doc Brown is Doc.Brown. Jesus, brother. You know we gonna fight.
I'm gonna tell you what, this is an embarrassment, bro. You're embarrassing enough, man.
Hey,
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I love it, man, that y'all know how to get a hold of me, man. So this is good.
Hey,
it is what it is at this point.
I don't.
Hey, man, hold on.
I lose my phone, bro. I wouldn't know how to call.
I was about to say that most of y'all don't know certain phone numbers that you need to know. So don't.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Without my phone, I don't remember numbers at all anymore.
Yeah, that's sad.
But
it was a day when we did. We remembered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as for me, I am, as always, I'm one half of the Sophisticated Spark podcast. You can find Sophisticated Spark on all social media platforms, on all podcasting platforms, and together we are the Parallel Legacies platform. I'm DJ_YM4 on Instagram. We got our Parallel Legacies group and page on Facebook. The group is where we just kind of cut up a little bit. The page is where we kind of handle business. If you're trying to get a hold of us directly, you can reach us at info.parallellegacies@gmail.com. I'm working on TikTok. I promise I'm working on TikTok tomorrow when I get in Chicago, because y'all know I'm going to Chicago tomorrow. And yeah, man, that's about it, fellas. I think it was a great show, and I miss you, brothers. I love you, brothers, and we gotta make sure we get back on it.
Absolutely, man. And I got one other thing, man, too. If you listen to this and you see this on Facebook or something like that, and you have a topic that you want us to talk about, hey, post it in the comments, man. I promise we'll get to it.
For sure.
No doubt.
For sure. All right, fellas. I'll talk to you soon.